give up. Take even this government. After they came out with a supplementary budget, after they bought SUVs for parliamentary, I myself was among those who came out and criticized them. The supplementary budget that came out end of last year was a joke. It looked like money for the boys. No priority items were being rushed out and money spent on them just after elections and so on. All that criticism, who some of us took part in, calling them names, saying this is not the way to carry out economic reform, that you should lead by example. Blood technique should begin from within. Now let me tell you why it's not energy wasted. Recently, I had 4 things that came out of the presidency. Each one I heard, I had to make sure that I listened. But continuing this wastage is unnecessary. That's number 3. Number 4, all of a sudden they remembered the report of Orosaye. So you forgot it before, and then suddenly remembered again his progress. So I'm going to show you why it is important to hold people's feet to the fire. It makes them begin to think. Because before then, I honestly thought Aso Rock was tone deaf. When I say tone deaf, making pronouncements that were totally out of sync with the mood of Nigerians. Ruben was in Aso Rock before, so you know that it can happen. If you don't, especially if you control those who you give access to, you will soon find that you're totally out of sync with what is going on elsewhere. So these 4 little changes, again, before you clap and celebrate, they let's point it by adding a fee, which is to give a 90 billion subsidy for the Hajj. Again, they went back to being tone deaf. At least that's progress. Before they were totally tone deaf, now there's a mixture. They are doing some good and doing some things bad. So we want to help them to get to a point where they only do things that are good. And please, let's celebrate the correct things that they do. It helps. And condemn the wrong things that they do. Merci.
Thank you very much.
Ministers from 36 states at the time, who didn't contest any election, who had no understanding what the people needed and why people contested to represent them. And those are the ministers who drove the budget and in place what they believe is best. The moment that was done and you pass the budget and it's enacted into a law, it becomes a responsibility of the executive to award the contracts to build those projects. You don't appoint the senator or the House of Rep member to appoint the contractors. Some would have done that, some others wouldn't do. States who have no understanding what the people needed, the people you stood elections to represent without consulting you would input and expect that to work. Now, so it's a question of if you do it right, then it's good. If you don't do it right, then every state will have a minister. Beyond that, some president will then appoint one more each per senatorial district or state to make about 40 in this country, or local government, where you won't find very smart society, have things they abhor, and they're so clear to everyone. So make policies, federal policies or government policies that enhances those things, and so we'll get the better buying by your community. Education. I talked about funding education, and I meant it. You can't have a country where you have your educational institution weak and expect to have the best people coming up to lead you. That won't work. So invest a lot of money in education. Today is AI, artificial intelligence. We missed the boat some years ago. Now a new world order is playing out. And that new world order will be driven by AI. So why don't you invest in education, in technology, such that your young men and young women would join the other more developed world at that stage and begin to build a stronger and better contractor. I recall during Obasanjo's regime, I was a lieutenant colonel. We ordered 19 ships, and they're all built abroad. I recall at the same time, India was also ordering some ships. What did they do? Indians said, you will produce X number of this product in your country. The remainder will be produced in my country. Anchored our contracting to foreign contractors to say to them, if I wanted 60 SUVs, 200 SUVs, you will build 100 in your place. The remaining 500 will be built here. You must set up your shop here. If you did that, you have transfer technology, you have expertise, you have job creation, and you have a better economy. Thank you.
Very profusely, first of all, for honoring our invitation and being here today. I really, really thank you. Please give yourselves a round of applause. I am very, very encouraged. This colloquium started with interest of Nigeria. When we were in Christchurch many years ago, we used to have a conversation on a regular basis, the Timeless series at the museum, but having left Christchurch and all the chance.
It is when you say something, that somebody actions something, that the thing becomes actionable and it begins to produce results. So we must not stop talking. In Nigeria, maybe you have 90 words. The 90th word, like the last straw, might be that one that really moves the dice or changes the situation. And they did extremely well. Malaysia had limited resources and has done extremely well. And most of the resources you find in Israel, this same Israel, are actually resources of the mind. The mind is the biggest resource. And if you can change and transform the mind of the average Nigerian, you will transform Nigeria.